Ma. So, Ma, I want you to tell me what you were just saying about where your grandparents were from. So, where was your grandmother from?
My grandmother came from Limerick Island, one grandmother, and the other grandmother came from the United States.
And your grandfathers?
My grandfather came from Quebec, Canada. My other grandfather came from Genoa, Italy.
And then, so you were married to Dad, Charlie
That's
Sharkey.
right.
How'd you meet him?
How'd I meet him? I met him on a blind date because of a double date with a friend from the Knapp Brothers where we were working. And I met him at the diner because that's where they took us. And then after that, he asked me to go to the races, and that's how it began. And from that day forward, I went to the races. That's how it started.
And so your parents were Mabel and Fred, right?
Yep, and they were born in the United States. I can answer that one.
And your brother was Fred?
My brother Fred was born in the United States. I'm 20 months older than him.
Excellent. So I'm going to keep this tape so that when
And he married Shirley, and they had 2 children, and then Ann and Stephen, and Ann has 2 children. You met Michelle.
Yep.
And Stephen has Michael. He also has 2 stepchildren. I don't know who they are. I think you got quite a family, my dear.
I do have quite a family. So, how many aunts did you have?
How many aunts? Well, let me see then. Aunt Gertrude, Aunt Ethel, Aunt Marion, Aunt Harriet, Aunt Mildred. And then on my father's side, only she died before I ever met her, but Aunt Anna.
And then
I never met Ann.
And uncles, you had Uncle George, right?
Well, on my father's side, I had Uncle George, and he had a brother Frank.
Oh, that's right.
I only met him once when I was young, and I really didn't know him. On my mother's side, she had a brother Frank and a brother Richard. All the others were sisters.
Yeah, I remember all the sisters. I remember the sisters, and I remember Frank. And Frank was married to Peg.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Aunt Peg and Uncle Frank. I remember most of them.
Funny part is, Frank married a wife named Margaret. Richard married a wife named Marguerite. You want to go? You want to have fun? Talk about being copycats.